This is the Lockpicking Lawyer, and the lock I have for you today is a Yale 90mm armored shutter lock. Now, I've picked quite a few of these armored shutter locks on my channel recently. However, I have to say that even though this Yale compares favorably in a lot of respects, it's still a little bit disappointing. And it's not disappointing because it's the worst lock in my collection of these armored shutter locks, but because I expect a little bit more from a company and name like Yale. So let's get into the construction of this lock, then we'll pick it and I will explain along the way where I think Yale might have gone wrong. Okay, as far as the construction goes, not a lot to complain about. We have a solid brass body here, surrounded by a good deal of nice thick hardened steel plating that is chrome plated. We also have a little hardened steel spinner guarding the keyway and a nice thick shackle. So as far as the construction goes, seems like they did a pretty good job. If I had to make one nit about it, it was that this lock felt a little bit on the light side. So I put it on the scale and compared it to the identically sized Corbin. And the Yale came out about a ½ pound lighter. So we probably have some hollows somewhere inside of this lock. Probably nothing that compromises security, but just shows you they're doing a little bit of corner cutting. So let's see what we can do to pick into this lock. We have a Yale Y1 keyway in there that's a little bit on the open side as far as Y1 keyways go, but still paracentric, using top of the keyway tension with my bent 40 thousandths pry bar and a standard hook in 25 thousandths. Nothing on 1, 2, little click out of 3, click out of 4, or actually I think that was 5, I must have skipped over 1. Nothing on 1, click out of 2, click out of 3, 4, and 5, back to the beginning. Click out of 1, click out of 2, nothing on 3, 4, or 5. There we go, hit 1 again and it popped open. You may have noticed that we hit a couple of those pins more than once and we never went into a false set. Usually pins that act like that are tapered driver pins, much like what we see in a Lockwood lock. However, one other type of pin acts exactly like that, and they're usually made in China, but they're standard pins with very indistinct rounded ends to them. And the easiest way to tell the difference between those types of pins and quality tapered pins is to try to rake the lock open, because those pins with rounded ends tend to rake extraordinarily easily. So let's put a tension wrench in the bottom, get my Sparrow's triple peak, and see if this lock rakes easily. Okay, opened pretty quickly. Let's try it a couple more times. Okay, opened again. I think that was the longest it's ever taken me to rake this lock. It's usually closer to that. Usually in and out a couple times. There we go, I'm getting in the groove now. And the lock opens up. So clearly not quality tapered pins in there. Almost certainly some very, very cheap standard pins with rounded ends in them. And that's my main item of disappointment with this Yale lock. I really expect on a lock like this, and they're not terribly cheap, but for a lock like this from a company like Yale, I really do expect to see security pins in there, and I was disappointed. So that's all I have for you on this Yale 90mm armored shutter lock. Great construction, very solid, but a soft, gooey center. If you have any questions or comments, please put them below. If you like this video and would like to see more like it, please subscribe. And as always, have a nice day. Thank you.